What's up guys, welcome back to another video, and today we are talking about whether or not you need third-party plugins to get good mixes. So I think this is something that everyone in the audio community can relate to. It seems that now, specifically more than ever, there is an endless supply of companies who are providing all sorts of tools that promise to do wonderful things to your music, and if you're anything like me, before you know it, you're knee-deep into a purchasing spree. The problem is that a lot of us start with limited funds, and whenever you consider the fact that whatever DAW you decided to pick up already comes with stock plugins, the question at some point becomes, do I really need third-party plugins to get good mixes? The answer to this question, in my opinion, is no, but they definitely help, but only when you're ready. Let me explain. The very first thing that I want to point out is that if you have a DAW right now with stock plugins, then you already have most, if not all, the tools you need to make great music. I'm a big fan of third-party plugins, but not for a second do I want anybody to think that you need them to get great mixes. A lot of times this can just be psychological because often we see big names and people that we look up to using these tools, and we think that if we want to be just as good, we need to have them as well. This, however, is nothing more than an excuse, because if you get bad mixes with stock plugins, you're more than likely also going to get bad mixes with third-party plugins. Now, I'm not saying that these tools aren't at least somewhat responsible for their sound and their results, but what I am saying is that a lot of people don't consider the time and the grind it took for them to really master their craft and put those plugins to use. As corny as it's going to sound, at the end of the day, it's always about the skill and the experience, not the gear. Nonetheless, let's assume that you still want to dive into the third-party market. When do you make that leap? When I was first starting to understand sonics, I literally spent hours researching and messing around with things like EQs and compressors. Compressors specifically messed me up because every video that I watched, every article that I read, they always said how important compressors were to their workflow and to their results, but to my inexperienced ear, I literally could not tell the difference between having the compressor turned on or off. I think it's fair to say that if you don't fully understand something, it becomes much harder to actually put it to use and benefit from it. If I had started to purchase third-party plugins at that point in my journey, I would have legit wasted my money because I had no idea what I was doing. It didn't matter if I had an LA2A compressor when I didn't even understand how to properly use the one that came with Studio One. Someone once told me that there is no point in buying a Lamborghini if you're going to drive it at 5 miles an hour, and I guess that same concept applies here. My advice, and especially if you're just starting out, is to master the stock plugins first, really understand what they do and when to use them, and then, and only then, do you move forward. Now, so far I've made 2 points as to why you should maybe wait to buy third-party plugins, but I don't want anybody to think that I hate them. Quite the contrary, a lot of the stuff that I use now is from third-party companies, but the question for some people at this point might still be, why would I spend my hard-earned money on things that my DAW already comes with? The answer to that question is that not all plugins are made equal. Once you start to mix more music, you'll start to develop a taste, learn new techniques, or maybe encounter a certain problem that requires a certain approach. In my experience, the 2 most common scenarios where I found that buying third-party plugins have made the most sense are: 1, when they allow me to do something quicker or more efficiently than their stock counterparts, and 2, when they give me more functionality than what I already have. Notice, however, that the decision to make a purchase from either of these 2 scenarios still, at the core, requires that you understand the basics, which is why it's super important to first master what you have. So, in conclusion, third-party plugins are fantastic. They can help make your job easier or help you solve a specific problem, but it makes no sense to spend your money until you have mastered what you already have. Now, real quick guys, before you head out, I've been preaching about this for the past 2 weeks, but next week, I'll be launching my brand new course titled Better Beat Mixes. This is a step-by-step style course where I walk you through my specific mix process and show you how to get beat mixes that sound good everywhere. If you want to learn more about it before it drops, then I have a sneak peek into one of the chapters available for free, along with some other free stuff, and all you have to do to get it is click the first link in the description. But that's it for me, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to grab your free stuff. But as always, like this video if you liked it, subscribe if you're not already, but I will see you guys on the next one.